This myth is very common, and you actually might have said this myth in the past about dogs. So when we're talking about play, we have to remember that all play isn't equal, so it's not really fair for dogs, for the humans, to just be letting the dogs sort out who's boss, and they're fine, they're just playing, because not all play is equal. And when we think about it from our dog's perspective, we need to keep play fair for all, and it's important that we supervise the play sessions, we understand what our dogs are trying to communicate to us and to the other dogs in that play session, and we need to understand when we should be intervening and just giving the dogs a break and just letting them move to a quieter area. We also need to remember that not all dogs like playing with every dog they see, and your dog may actually prefer familiar dogs to play with, and then out of those familiar dogs there might be one dog that on one particular day they just don't want to play with, and that's perfectly fine. So we should never be forcing our dogs in a situation to play with another, and we shouldn't just be leaving our dogs to sort out who's the boss in a play type situation. That is just counterproductive for dogs, and it's also teaching our dogs that they can't actually look to us for guidance or help when they're actually in a situation where they feel threatened, stressed, or in conflict. So it's very important that we supervise, we understand the body language clues that dogs are telling us, and we intervene when they need us to. Now, I'm going to talk about a number of patterns associated with play, the way dogs play. And the first one is the play bow. Now, these are friendly gestures. This is a friendly gesture that dogs perform to each other, and dogs will perform a play bow when they want to initiate play with another dog. And so you can see here that the dog is actually leaning into their forelimbs and their hindquarters are raised, and they'll be looking at the dog that they like to interact with, and this is a way to say, I would like to play. Do you want to interact with me? So that's a really good way to start a conversation. And it's also important that when we're looking at play overall, that we see play bows intermittently throughout the play session, not just performed by the dog who initiated play, but also by the other dog who's involved in that play session with the dog that initiated the play. Now, when we're thinking about play overall, the overall situation, we want to look for a few things, and we want to look for a type of play that's very bouncy. And here's a really good example of this. So we can see here that we've got two dogs here, and we can see the play bow there from the white dog, and we can see that the body language is nice and floppy, the gait is really relaxed, they're bouncing around, and the mouths on these dogs are open and relaxed, and that's another friendly gesture that you'll see in play. So it's really important that when we're looking at the type of body language that the dogs are showing us, that we also look at everything from their head all the way down through to their tail. And so we could also see that those dogs' tails were just waving really nicely, and those dogs were actually reciprocating the movements, and they were mirroring each other's behaviour. And that's a communication signal to say, yes, I'm on the same page with you, and yes, I'm still willing to continue in this play interaction. So that's a really valuable body language that we need to understand when we're looking at play overall. Now, another thing that we need to assess when we're looking at our dogs playing overall is it balanced? And that means basically, are both dogs mirroring each other's behaviour and getting a chance to chase the other, be chased by the other dog, have a chance to play bite the other dog, and vice versa, and also get the chance to paw nudge or jump up on the other dog in a playful way that's acceptable to that dog, and have that reciprocated. And here is an example, again, of some balanced play, and I think we have the same two dogs again. And once again, these dogs' mouths are open and relaxed, and that's a really important point that I want to touch on again, because it'll come in into context later. So once again, we can see that we've got a reciprocal sort of interaction. It's a mutual interaction. And although the white dog, Labrador, is actually increasing in his energy when he's approaching the black retriever, but you can see there that the black retriever was still willing to interact there, and it was still bouncy, and it was still relaxed, and it was a mutual interaction. Now, talking about balance play, when we are looking at dogs that might be chasing each other, it's really important that it's done in a friendly way, that it's a friendly gesture towards that dog. And what we need to be looking for is, once again, here's an example of friendly chase. So once again, we've got nice bounding, loping, sort of really relaxed, floppy gaits, and both dogs are having a chance to chase each other. The mouths are again open and relaxed. We can see the tongues, and these dogs are just bouncing around and they're having turns chasing each other. And once again, we're going to see the energy levels escalate there. But in that sequence, that was a nice mutual interaction, and both dogs were getting the chance to chase each other. Now, this is an example, and I'm going to play the first few seconds of this. And I want you to have a look, or listen closely, and see if you can hear this little white dog. Okay, now I'm going to play that one more time. That was a very direct, very focused, sudden lunge and growl. Now, when we are looking at dogs playing, you may have heard dogs have a bit of a rumbly, continual sort of growl that might peak, but it's continual. It's not sharp and very direct and focused like that one was. So in this situation, that growl was not a play growl. And we can also see, as I play the entire video, and unfortunately, we have a human that is making no sense. Well, from the point of view of the dogs anyway, it's just causing more confusion for the dogs. Now let's notice some really big differences. That's the first difference there, and you'll see this again. Now the human's given the puppy the cue to continue despite that little white dog communicating very clearly that she was tolerating the situation and was quite concerned and unsure about the situation. And we'll see that again right now. Okay, so that's a pretty stark contrast to the bouncy play that we saw with the other dogs, the friendly chase, the balanced play. So I'm hoping that you are going to be able to see those differences and apply that checklist of looking at play bows, bouncy play, balanced play, and also friendly chasing. And I'm wanting you to be able to start looking and start applying that little checklist to situations where your dog is involved in play sessions or you're just watching dogs playing, and just really have a look and see if you can see those things and understand what's really going on in those play situations or those play situations. Now I'm going to play this again. Okay, so the puppy is actually doing some nice play bows. This little doggy's unsure, looking to the human again, lifting that paw. The puppy's performing the play bows. It's very difficult to see if the white dog's performing any play bows, but she's actually stepping away. She's turning her head, a little distracting sniff there. We've got that leg lifted, looking away, hard blinking of the eyes. The mouth is closed on this white dog, and it has been throughout the video. So this dog is just tolerating the situation. And the puppy should have actually been diverted away from this little white dog. And once again, we've got lip licking, hard blink of the eye, looking down, leg raised, craning the neck away to increase the distance away from that puppy. That little dog, in that point in time, at that particular play session, was not enjoying that interaction. So that puppy would have been best to be matched with a dog of a similar personality, and that may have even been an older dog or a larger dog or a puppy. But the personality of that little white dog at that point in time was not matched. We didn't see a lot of mirroring of behaviour. We didn't see the nice bouncy floppy play as we did in the other video, and we certainly didn't see anything that resembled friendly chasing. Now we also have to consider from the puppy's point of view, a puppy is actually trying to learn a lot from social interactions like play, and it's very important for puppies to learn social etiquette when they're playing. So it's very important that we're matching dogs, and that goes for puppies and older dogs and adolescent dogs, that we match them with dogs that are actually that have similar personalities and demeanours and confidence levels. And we need to be taking it very, very slowly and ready to intervene. So it's very clear that the human should have intervened a lot earlier for that little white dog. So there are a few extra links in the description below. And what I'm hoping that you're going to be doing is just taking these tips and these strategies and just applying it to everyday situations. And once you do this, and once you start looking at dogs playing and looking at the body language, you're going to get much better at it, and you're going to be much better at identifying when you need to intervene and exactly what your dog's trying to tell you in everyday situations.